everybody. Happy early Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a week from tomorrow from this recording. And Thanksgiving's late this year. It's late in the month. And that means Christmas is right around the corner. And so I have been thinking about travel knitting. And the atmosphere in our house and kind of the mental state of mind of what we've been through here and I'm sure throughout the country uh, led me on Friday, last Friday, to suggest to my husband that we get out of the house. And being the selfish person that I am, I suggested that we drive to Peoria, Illinois, which is about an hour and 10 minutes from Springfield, and has the advantage of having a lovely yarn store called Fiber Universe. And we had some hotel points to spend and could spend the night up there and go, so we could go late in the day after work and all that, and just go and do a little. I could do a little yarn shopping, and we could spend the night, eat and spend the night and just be away for 10 hours. And again, that got me thinking about travel knitting. I have this on the door of my office. I'm going on a trip and I need 3 balls of yarn. I packed 179 just in case. Yeah. So that's funny because it's true. Because I can pack, and I'm sure you're the same way, I can pack clothes for a trip in an hour. And it takes me 3 days to figure out what knitting I'm taking with me. The maximum amount of time it takes to figure out what knitting I'm taking with me. So, but I wanted to suggest something that came to mind and really meant something to me in terms of learning about myself and about knitting and how to complete things. Because I completed this week, cast on to finish, a sock yarn hat. And this is on size 2 needles. And I cast it on last Friday, and finished it this morning. And that's a lot of knitting. That's a pair of socks in a hat in just a few days. And this yarn is by a hand dyer who calls her company Zombie Yarn, and I will link it below in the description. The Ravelry page for her yarns. This is fingering weight sock yarn. I got this yarn. My Fiber Guild at our Christmas party does a kind of a big yarn swap with people who want to get rid of some of their yarn. And this was one of the ones that someone wanted to get rid of. And I totally understand why you might see this in your stash and say, oh, it doesn't quite grab me. But knitting it as a hat, and that's why I knitted it as a hat. I don't know if you can see the colors here. It's light blue and cream mostly, with stripes of navy and also some brown and some yellow and also some spots of red. And there's actually on one part of the hat, there's a big splash of yellow right there. Yeah. So anyway, I really liked how this turned out as a hat because it's gender neutral, would go with blue jeans, and it just turned out great. And I'm very happy with it. The pattern I used is the old standby, the sockhead hat, which is a free pattern. Let me hold that up. Oh, there we go. Sockhead hat, free pattern by Kelly McClure. And for travel knitting, this is what I learned. For travel knitting, 1 ball of sock yarn, 1 circular size 2 needles, and 1 page pattern that you don't have to look at ever once you have it cast on. It's 4 inches of knit 1, purl 1. And then what I did, and let me show you this other hat I'm working on. because I didn't do just plain stockinette. I don't like stockinette hell. I'm knitting another hat that is another free pattern. And this is a worsted weight pattern. I'm actually knitting it in DK. This is Bankhead. It is, this is all one ball of yarn. I'm jumping all over the place here, but the ribbing is, this one is knit through the back loop, purl one. So it's a little onerous, but has a nice effect. And I did that with this hat. I did the top, I did a purl bump every 5 stitches, 6 stitches, whatever it was. Put a purl bump every other row. So I knit around once, and then whatever this was, knit 5 or I think this was knit 6, purl 1, all the way around, just to break up that mindless stockinette going on forever, which bores me. So this made it just interesting enough. So on this, and like I said, finished it in less than a week. What could possibly be going on that I would need to sit and kneel over size 2 needles and just knit for hours on end? I don't know. Yeah. So this is something that you can just take with you. 1 ball of sock yarn, pair of size 2 needles, and a 1-page pattern. And you don't really need to take anything else with you if you're just on a couple-day trip, because it'll take that long to knit it. I did, because I was home, finish it off on double pointeds, but I wouldn't have necessarily needed to. I could have done a magic loop at the top. But on this other hat, on this Bankhead hat, which is all 1 ball of yarn, and I'm going to show you, look at that. This is called Oddball, and it is by a now defunct company or farm called High Prairie Fibers in, where are they? I know I have it down here. Letts, Letts, Iowa. High Prairie Fibers. And this was Mary's yarn. The what did I call it before? The legendary stash of the guild member who passed away. This was in her stash. And this oddball yarn from the Midwest is just a 2-ply. Here's one color. Here's another color. It's very pastel. No 2 are the same, apparently. There's no dye lot, certainly. And this is the one that I decided to make the Bankhead hat. And because of that bright yellow, there's quite a bit of that. I went from the outside and broke it up with some stripes. And again, I'm doing that knit 4 in this one, knit 4 purl 1 every other round. And when I do the stripe, regardless of where I am in the pattern, I'm knitting around once, so there wouldn't be a purl bump of a color in that stripe. I just knit across the beginning of the stripe and then do the purl bump on the second row. That's a 2-row stripe. So this one is almost done. I'll have this done probably tomorrow. And it's soft. This is really soft yarn. But like I said, I looked up their website that's on this label, and it is no more. I think a lot of these farms that went to fiber production, I think COVID hit them pretty bad. But it's called Oddballs, and it is, as far as I can tell, it is available, and I have a link below, at a yarn store in Weston, Missouri, which is north of Kansas City, called Florilegium. I hope I'm saying that right. In Weston, Missouri, and Missouri. And I will link that below. So I really liked the idea of just taking a hat with me. What I did when we went to Peoria was um, I took, I think I cast this hat on Saturday, actually. I took this hat with me and also took sock needles with me because I thought when I got to Fiber Universe in Peoria, I would probably pick up some sock yarn. um, and I might work on that. So it turned out that that's what I did. I got some more of my favorite, German Schoppel. This is not Zauberball, however. It is called Edition 3. It comes in 100-gram balls. It comes in 50-gram balls, excuse me. These are the same colorway. And this is not like the Zauberball. Zauberball has nylon in it. This is 100% superwash. And so it's very soft. And I did cast on Friday night in the hotel room. I did start a sock, but then I put it away because I wanted to work on hats. And this is not a Grocery Girls hat, Grocery Girls sock. I'll finish this before the end of the year at some point, but this will be my 15th pair for 2024. But it's not the scrappy socks are the ones I'm going to do in December. So I went to Fiber Universe and I got that. Had picked that out, and I also saw some very reasonably priced, I thought, cotton. And I have one ball of cotton in my stash right now, and doing washcloths is a go-to quick gift for Christmas. So this is Queensland Collection Coastal Cotton Ocean Mist. And this particular colorway is Green's Pool, which is got some dark yellows, and I think it'll be a real fun kitchen artsy color. And then I got this really soft, it's called Bondi Beach, and it's got some maroon in there, but it's mostly light blues and greens in a white background with some speckle. So those are washcloth. That's for washcloths. And then the owner came up to me, and I was talking with the owner about how I'm the Zoom coordinator for our guild, and the owner of Fiber Universe always does a presentation for us in the wintertime on Zoom of this upcoming spring yarns and different things that are going on in her store, so that we don't have to drive up. She does mail order. We don't have to drive up to Peoria if we don't want to. And so I reintroduced myself to her and got to talking. And she said, well, I'm really glad you were able to come today because it's our anniversary sale. And I went, oh, okay. And I was already buying, the sock yarn and the cotton. And she said, yeah, it's 20% off Malabrigo today. Really? So this is Malabrigo Ultimate Sock, color 164 Sur. Falls right into Blue Gal's lap. So it was $19.95. I got it for $16. So that's sale yarn. Then I went up to buy that much yarn, and that was what I was going to get. I bought an extra ball of cotton for my knitting friend, who's a magnificent washcloth knitter. Got my sock yarn, got my Malabrigo, got my little Fabergé eggs of German sock yarn. And owner at the counter said, it's our anniversary sale and you get to pick a gumball to find out your discount. So she had a gumball machine on the counter, and you twist it, and whatever color gumball comes out, there's a little sign there, and you get a discount based on the color of the gumball that comes out of the gumball machine. And I have a feeling there's a lot of red gumballs in there because red was the lowest and it was 10% off, and that's what I got. And she said, you can take 10% off. You get 20% off of the Malabrigo. That's all set. But you get 10% off the rest of your purchase, or you can pick some yarn from the free shelves. And you know I love free shelves. So I picked up this. This is Sheep Geese Terrazzo. It is recycled felted tweed yarn in color 732 Acaccio. It's a felted tweed, recycled, cruelty-free yarn. And I picked this up and I said, I can make a hat out of this. And she said, no, you get to take the whole bag. So what was in the bag was 3 balls and a leather, I think a fake leather, given that the yarn is recycled, etc. Yeah, this is fake leather. But you get a little sheep geese leather tag and 3 balls of now it's a baby sweater. So it's sport weight, it's recycled, and it's I think it's a blend, but I think it's let's see, it's 70% wool, 30% recycled viscose. Okay, recycled polyester. So yeah, but isn't that lovely? And that was definitely something I was going to pick up instead of at 10% off for the cotton, which was already low priced, and the German socks. So what a lovely trip that was. And I really want to thank my husband for hearing what I was saying when I said, I want to go to the yarn store. So on the way home, again, I didn't knit the socks. This is the thing I have learned is put the sock down while you're traveling, because you'll get the sock done anyway, Fran. You know you will. Work on the hat, or work on a sweater, work on something else. So I did this knit through the back loop purl 1 ribbing in the car on the way home. And that's 4 inches of ribbing, which that took a long time and a lot of concentration, because that knit through the back loop it was funny. My knitting friend that I see on Saturdays, I showed her this and she said, I went, yeah, it's got a nice effect. She said, linen stitch has a nice effect too. I'm still not going to do it. And I understand that. But I like this pattern. I do. And the patience that it requires to do knit through the back loop, purl 1, it'll teach you something. Bankhead, it'll teach you something. So all 3 of these patterns are free. They're linked below. Bankhead, sock head hat, and then there's a third one, which is also a sock head. Excuse me, it's a sock pattern, sock hat pattern. Excuse me. This is the Yarnspirations Croy, which, as I have told you before, Croy sock yarn is cheaper and thicker. And when I have knit socks with Croy, I go up a needle size to 2s, but I could go to 3s. The sock head hat I knit on size 2s. But a Croy hat, this calls for 3s and 5s. So I might stay on the 3s the whole way because I like a tight knit. But yeah, this calls for US 5s for the body of the hat. And on this blue hat, I did not, I could have gone on longer. This is 4 inches of 1x1 ribbing. And then the pattern calls for 8 inches of stockinette, basically to use up the skein. I had 48 grams left. So I used a little more than half of a skein on this hat. I did 5 inches before, and the pattern says, you do what you want with the length, because it could be a really floppy hat, or you could do, there's 2 versions, regular fit and slouchy fit, and that's the way this is. You can see the 2 versions of this hat. She's got a regular fit and he's wearing a slouchy. So you could do a slouchy, just keep knitting. I just didn't want that. I wanted a regular fitting hat. So I stopped knitting the body of the hat after 5 inches. And I really like this hat. This is going to be a great gift for somebody, um, somebody in the family, and it is gender neutral. I like that about it. And I knit it in less than a week because I just needed to concentrate on something, which is something we all need to do these days. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you. Oh yes, I do. There is one more thing. I want to remind everybody about the year of the UFO next year, because we're really starting to cook on making plans to do this. What I'm going to do, the link below, this is a Ravelry group that you can sign up and join. It's free. It's just chatting in the chat room, basically. You can post pictures of your projects. You can tell us when you're going to frog something. The aim of this group is to focus on your unfinished knitting and our unfinished knitting. And there is no judgment when it comes to deciding to finish something or deciding to frog it, to rip it out. And the point is to get your project list down to a manageable level and to enjoy finished projects. So if you're knitting something that you just don't like, or it isn't working, or it isn't going to fit, or the yarn would be better used for something else, then that's a victory to find that out. As I said, I'm going to link this below. Sign up. There are people from Blue Sky coming over now and signing up, which is really exciting. I'm coming up with some ideas for how I'm going to, because I'm the moderator of it, kind of organize how we invite people to post. And what I'm going to do is do, first of all, a monthly accountability thread where you can post what it is you want to be working on that month. And then I will have a finished thread to celebrate your finished stuff. I will have a frog thread where you've decided to rip something out, and we will cheer you on for doing that. And then I'm going to have a couple of other ones. I'm going to have a blanket thread for people that are working on blankets over time so that we can talk about that. And then another one for Sleeve Island, because I noticed that a lot of people who have joined this have sleeves they need to finish. And Sleeve Island is really a place in the knitting world where people wind up putting something away for a long time because they just run out of steam, or getting sleeves done and making the matches hard, etc. So we're going to have a Sleeve Island thread for people to work on sleeves. And yeah, and a blanket thread, because a lot of people are working on blankets that do take, several years of putting it away and taking it out and putting it away. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll see what else comes up. If a bunch of people are working on shawls, we'll do a shawl thread. If a bunch of people have multiple small projects that they want to group together, we'll do that. I'm really, really open to what everybody wants to do in terms of organizing their posting at this particular Ravelry thread and group, and just making sure everyone's both feeling a sense of accomplishment and also having a good time. So it is a very open group, an easy group, and fun group, and I think it's certainly going to motivate me to look at all these unfinished projects and get them done, get them in a better place. So I hope you guys will join that. Again, link below on that. And I am not podcasting next week because there's too much to do with Thanksgiving. Even though I'm not cooking, kids will be cooking. We'll be cooking their vegan dinner, and I'm looking forward to that. And I hope everyone else is going to have a really good Thanksgiving. I will say I have always found that gratitude is the antidote to despair. And it's really important to count our blessings. So I count you guys watching me as a blessing, and thank you for doing that. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks. Bye.